uh, Fantastic4.
Yes. Go.
Hello, my name is Angela Lee. I'm a member of the Fantastic4, and we're about to introduce our 8 apps we chose for meaningful learning. And I will go first with my 2 apps. I've chosen Seesaw, which I use in my own classroom. I am going now to share that screen with you so you can actually see it. Okay. So I'm going there now, actually. No, thought. Okay, here it is. Yes. So I've set up a classroom for our small group, for our group of 4 here. Seesaw is wonderful for communicating with parents. And I have an audio, like the students can share, it's like a digital portfolio, and students can share pictures, video. There's a writing tab where they can share ideas. And the wonderful thing about it is parents can be involved, and so communication is key, and that's always a plus for teachers. It allows for collaboration not only between the students, but with parents as well, and parents can see firsthand their child's learning and thinking and where they are, what they need help with, maybe even at home. The meaningful learning that takes place with Seesaw is the creation of media products through the Seesaw app, clear communication for a range of purposes is allowed through Seesaw. I highly recommend this app, especially for kindergarten through 4th grade. Also, for another app, I've chosen, Padlet, and I had it pulled up here. I'm so sorry. Padlet's also another meaningful learning tool that can be used like for brainstorming ideas. I've also set up a Padlet here for collaboration. I've just mentioned some of the things we've learned in our reading. So Padlets can be used for brainstorming ideas, and it can be used for reflecting, like after a project's over, like what students learned, and it can be used for just multiple things. And we've shared all of this on our wiki site, and to learn more about these apps, you can just check out our wiki. So now I'm going to be quiet and let my peers go from there.
Hi, my name is Charlene Edwards. So I decided to use Bubble Us and Google Docs. I'm going to talk about Bubble Us. Basically, Bubble Us is a Web 2.0 tool used for creating mind maps. Teachers and students can discuss ideas on topics, then create maps such as visual aids for the classroom. Managers like myself can use the tools for charts, organizing ideas, and strategic thinking for business. It's a free tool to allow users to create 3 maps. There is a premium plan, which gives you additional features such as creating unlimited maps, priority technical support, and adding files and images. And my colleague Angela, I have a link to Bubble Us that she can share that's on the wiki spaces. Some examples of using Bubble Us, information technology. You can create flow charts for learning programming languages. For social studies, create a family tree. For reading, character maps. Professional development, teachers can share and collaborate ideas on the best practices of teaching. And management and supervision training, create interactive workshops for ideas for leadership techniques for the workplace. There are a few advantages of Bubble Us. Basically, it's free, is user friendly. You do not have to create an account to create a map. You do not have to download any software. Now, there are some disadvantages. One, you can only save 3 maps. And two, there are only limited features for the free version unless you purchase the premium plan, which is basically about $5 a month. Now, the next app is Google Docs, which is an online word processing document tool from Google and allows users to collaborate and share documents. You can create, edit, update documents, share with others. Google Docs can download into Microsoft Word, PDF files, web pages. While working on the files, users can see authors editing the online documents. Teachers can use Google Docs for group projects such as essay writing, creating tables, and blogs. A few examples of how I use Google Docs and teachers can use Google Docs. Group writing, managers can create surveys. Managers can also share minutes from meetings, and teachers can collaborate in writing lesson plans. Advantages of Google Docs. The Google Doc is free. Uh, Google Docs allow users to share documents for group collaboration. Users will be able to export Word and to PDF files and also create forms and surveys. And some disadvantages of Google Docs are privacy issues if you don't want others to see what you're writing. Most companies prefer using Microsoft Office software. There are limited features such as highlighters, highlighting your document, as well as inserting high-level images. And finally, users must have access to the internet to use Google Docs. Now I'm going to turn it over to Michelle.
All right. Well, thanks. As we continue our discussion, I'm going to be discussing 2 of those apps that are out there for meaningful learning. I'm going to try to share my screen as well and ask my colleagues to get onto their computers where we can pull up some of the same types. We're first of all going to look at one called Twidla. And what Twidla is a collaborative whiteboard. And you can see here in the top left corner where it says whiteboard, I'm going to take my pen and I'm just going to write my name here. I've shared that link with them through the tool that we're using, which is Google Hangouts, and asked them to click on. And if they're able, while I'm talking about this, their name somewhere on the whiteboard as well. Hopefully it works. We've had a screenshot where we've tried. There's Peter right there for you as well. But Twidla is pretty nice. It's free. You don't have to have an account at all to use it. You can use it on the fly, which is part of what I think makes it a very meaningful learning, because students don't have to have a lot of time for sign up. If you want to have a quick conversation or you want to do a math problem together, you just pull it up, have them try it, and then you're able to look at their work, see what they're doing. Advantages, of course, I've already mentioned. There's no accounts to set up. You can pay, as many of these apps, they have a for-fee account that you can get. This is about also $5 a month. I think it's $5 a year that you can buy into, and you can maintain and keep your whiteboards for a while and persist a little bit. But for quick use, nice. One of the things I found on my own personal computer, it did not respond to my touch screen. That did well with my mouse, so I don't have an iPad. I'm able to touch and use that as well. So that might be one of the disadvantages. And the other one I can think of might be that if a child were to happen to type something wrong, if you didn't send them to the right link, because it's free, I guess there's a very small possibility you could have hit the same address of another room. That happened. very often when I've used it. There's a nice sandbox there for you to try, so lots of options in that way. Now I'm going to switch to another app that we are kind of the same features, although this one is about texting or writing, kind of more like of a chat Meet. There are a lot of people who have used that as well. I've sent the today's Meet link. Again, no account has to be set up. I can just set up a room. I can send that and share that URL with my friends. They can sign in, make a nickname, and there we go. We're having some conversation. If my colleagues are able to talk there, I could sign in. I could sign myself in with, I believe, whoops, I better get on the right screen here. I could sign in as Event09 and join the meeting very quickly. And then I'm able to write my message. Everyone, hope you are learning a great deal or a lot about apps today. So I'm able to say that. And what's nice about this is immediately everyone who's listening in on conversation is part of it. A couple of ways I think you could use this is as we're presenting, let's say, listeners had a thought about what I was saying, they could quickly post it, post a question. Maybe somebody else in the audience who was there would be able to, or they would be able to list their comments. And then at the end of the presentation, and I have a list of all of their comments, they're concerned, but so does the audience. And it makes for a deeper conversation. Again, you can purchase a very cheap an account that maintains, and you can copy these conversations and them as a transcript and use those if you needed to. But for a quick collaboration tool, I think it's very effective. I use this in my own classroom when I have students giving presentations and use it as an evaluation tool. So the other listeners stay engaged by giving comments to the presenter, things they like about their presentation, improve, and it gives us immediate feedback. And I think that's really the benefit of some of that in a classroom, is that immediate feedback. I too have posted more and more information, advantages, disadvantages about both of these apps, Twidla and today's Meet. So you'll want to go to our wiki space where we've taken time to show you much more. But then I'm going to step out, turn off my sharing screen, and I'm going to try to give that back to my final member of the Fantastic Four, and that's Peter. So,
thank you. All right, so for my two apps, I went with two I've used pretty extensively, both as a student and as a teacher. The first one I went on was the Google Slides. Now, similar to what this is part of what Charlie mentioned earlier, was part of Google Docs, but specifically, it's for presentation software. Now, presentation software came out about in the mid-90s, as we all know, and became both really great tool for teachers and notorious for tool for teachers, as suddenly teachers had an easy way to make board presentations without having to write everything up there. And while that helps certainly teachers who have bad handwriting, like yours truly, we've all had to suffer through various PowerPoints or other presentations that had way too much information up there. But let's take a look anyway. So this is your basic Google Slides. It's got, and when you start off, it has all these different ideas to both look at existing ones or start with various ideas. I can also come up one that is publicly available from Google, just to give you an idea. This is basically how it's going to be work similar to any other presentation software out there. Now, this platform is available from basically anything connected with the internet, whether it's a phone, a tablet, or a full-fledged computer. But it pretty much speaks for itself. It allows collaboration, although Microsoft certainly caught up with that in PowerPoint and OneDrive. But its only major disadvantage is that it's almost too online. Unless you save the local file ahead of time, and you're going to be out of luck should you lose internet, and especially so on the Chromebook OS. So, the other app I want to talk about today is what I call is Codecademy. And Codecademy was a great help for me when I was in the both intro and intermediate web design of this program, because while I was no stranger to web design, having to take it in high school all the way back in 2003, I'm getting old. My skills definitely needed a refresher, and this was the best way to do it. So this basically is a free website that lets you basically teaches the basics of coding. And I'm not just talking HTML or CSS, although those are major functions. We're talking practically every major programming language. Just to give you an idea, I've called up their main page here, and you can just see it outright, just all the different possible programming language this is available to you. Now, this is just a free account available on the site. This site also has both for education and business, that various other tools. But its only major disadvantage is that it's solely online and there's no real collaboration function. But I'm going to yield the floor back to the main group, and we're going to go back to just rating these apps as needed. Unmute yourself, guys.
Okay.
There we go.
Now, I do have a video that is uploaded on our Fantastic4 wiki space of an example of teachers using.
Charlene, can you boost your microphone a bit?
Can you hear me now?
A little better.
Yeah. As I was stating, I have a link to a video showing an example of a teacher using Google Docs as a collaboration tool. So hopefully we get to play that. It's a 2-minute video, and it's also uploaded on the wiki space.
Yeah, and you're going to hear a little of our collaboration right now. Not only are we going to collaborate about rating these apps, which we will put on the wiki space, but one of the tools we haven't even talked about is the one we're using to record this. And this is Google Hangouts video, and we're recording, putting all these folks and all these apps, sharing screens, and making a video all at the same time, and we're posting that to YouTube, which we will have on our wiki link. You will be able to see that there as well. But that's a pretty good tool. I don't want to dominate the conversation. Let's start the rating of the apps. And I think, first of all, we need to say it's pretty hard to rate apps because I think it really depends on how you're going to use them. I happen to use Code Academy a lot, and I love, love, love that site at the kindergarten level, so I can't imagine that they would love that site. I probably would not use Seesaw in that same way that a young classroom would. So it's going to be a little tough for us as a group to really rate them as far as how we see or use them, I think. But we'll give it a shot. All right, who's got some input?
Well, I enjoy Google Docs as well as Google Slides, because that's something we have to use pretty much as an everyday tool. I'd say, are we rating them from what, 1 through 8? And 1 is number 1 and 8 is the last, or vice versa? How are we rating them?
Yeah, I would think whichever one you think is the best would be number 1. Yeah.
I
So,
say it's a tie between the Google products, Google Docs, and Google Slides. So that's something that we can use for work, and students can use in the classroom. If you want something that's more fun, would probably be Twiller and Bubble Us. What do you guys think?
I agree with Google Slides. Google Slides is always, for some reason, it's my go-to. It's set up on all the students' Chromebooks. And yeah, so I would say Google Slides, Google Docs 1 and 2. And for me, because I teach 3rd graders, the communication with parents is like tops for me. Like, yeah. So I Seesaw is number 3, just because I guess it wouldn't be good for like the older students, as you said. And then Today's Meet, I love it that it's simple. Today's Meet, I would say for me, in my opinion, is number 4. Code Academy 5 because it is innovative, but yet there's no communication, like, or collaboration way for the kids in third grade. There's not. So, and then what was, okay, let me see. Bubble S. I like Bubble S because we can use it as a concept map. So what else? What do y'all think? 7 and 8. I can't remember the other two. Oh, Twidla. I do like Twidla. I'm just being introduced to Twidla. I'll probably try it more in my classroom. So it may go up to a top rating after I use it. So I'm learning from this. It's been awesome.
Peter, you got an input?
Yeah. Excuse me. I mostly agree with what you've already said. At least within my own classroom, probably as it's limited, I'm dealing with internet connection. I have to rate today's meet kind of low because it's education Twitter, and I appreciate the collaboration function of it, but I can't really use it. Now, admittedly, Twidla as I definitely can. I could probably set something up that way, but I would definitely agree with your ratings otherwise.
Yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're going to conclude this video and post it, but you can look on our wiki sheet, and then we'll each give you our list of what we rate, and see how they go together and collaborate on that. We'll each make our own list of apps ratings. So hope you've enjoyed looking at our videos, and really appreciate you paying attention and learning from us. And so here's out from all the Fantastic Four. Give them your best wave.